Today's quick tip is very specifically around words. It's a quick tip, but it's actually a big lesson to learn, and it will take a lot of practice, and it will be worth it. When I think of the words that we use, I realize there's a huge power in all of the words, right? Into sentences. And one of the reasons I love sales so much is there's so much psychology in it. For example, a word that I hear that's used a lot that you will never hear me use in a sales conversation is the word unfortunately. That word it doesn't ever feel good. If you start becoming acutely aware of how words make you feel, unfortunately is a word that does something weird, where they say, hey, well, could you do it for a discount? Unfortunately, I can't. Well, that does something in their minds. There's always this point scale. If you've watched the rest of these quick tips, one of the things that I mentioned before is that people make decisions based on emotions, and then they justify with logic. Well, in every conversation you have, there's almost this point system that's going on. Are they feeling good or not good? Because they're going to go with their gut. And at the end of the conversation, it might be that they say, I don't know, I really liked them. It just felt good. I just had such a great conversation. And then they'll start justifying the logic as to why they're doing business with you. It may not have had anything to do with the actual logic or content in it. It actually was a feeling. And words like unfortunately, or no, or what you should do, or what you need to do, or what I need you to do, any of these sort of phrases actually, from childhood, if you think about it, those words never had good information around them, right? You need to clean your room. You should be more like your brother or sister, or what I need you to do is, whatever that thing is something that you didn't want to do. It wasn't your idea. So those words have they're neuroassociations in our body. They're subtle, but they add up points. Don't worry about neuroassociations. It's just a feeling that you'll get from certain words that you hear. So the game is find ways to use different, more productive or positive words. So I mentioned that the word no. So instead of saying no, like, hey, can you give me a discount? No, I can't. Instead, try to play a game with it and find out, okay, how could I answer that question without saying no, but it is the same answer, right? So one go-to way, and you can play with this, is to use the words, what I can do is, so that's pretty expensive. Can you give me a discount? What I can do is, I have a really busy schedule and there's a little bit of a waiting list, but I have a little space that I don't normally fill in. What I can do for you is, if you are interested, I can start you earlier than I would normally be able to do. Or what I can do is work around your schedule a little more than in the past. Or what I can do is, whatever they can do, and then tell them something that you can do, right? What I can do is give you some time to think about it. With that being said, my calendar does fill up. Don't take forever to decide. But if this is something that you would find value in, then what I would do for you is block off my calendar specifically for you, or whatever that can do is. So instead of no, what I can do is, if it's you need to, what I need you to do, be creative with this. But one that I've come up with is I try to switch that into what I'd like to do for you is. So let's say that there's a questionnaire, or there's certain questions that you need to get answered before you can move forward, or there's an application that they need to fill out, or whatever the thing is that they need to do. Try phrasing it in a way that says, what I'd like to do for you is, and then give them a thing. So if it was an application, then and they need to fill it out, instead of saying, look, I'm going to need you to fill out this application before we can talk, then I might say, what I'd like to do for you is allow you an opportunity to share some of the most relevant information, so that when you and I get together, I will have already pre-read through all of that, have a really good idea of where you are, and then that allows you and I to hit the ground running and get the very most use or the most value out of our time together. How does that sound? Fantastic. You give them the application, they're going to fill that out. So try those out. 2 phrases to play around with and just find different places. You'll rarely run into a train wreck with these, but what I'd like to do for you is, and then the other one is, what I can do is. There's many. Go through and just sort of make a list. That's what I did in the past, is any of the words that if somebody said it to me and I didn't like what was going to happen next, or I could anticipate that I wasn't going to like what happened next, I wrote those down and I started collecting them. And so a lot of those is you should. Nobody likes to hear those words. You should, you need to, I need you to, something like that. And the no's and the unfortunately's. And so if you leave those out, and there's 50 more words, but be conscious of your words and slowly change that over into better ways of using words. Only you know what words really are going to feel good and feel right for you, and therefore your ideal clientele, and play with those. Use your words on purpose. Hope that helps. And until next time, definitely do click the subscribe button, the bell, give a like or a dislike, leave me a nice or nasty comment, maybe not the nasty ones. Reach out to me directly if you have some critical feedback. I'd love that. But either way, I'd love to hear from you, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks, everyone.